sweethearts and lovelies, and welcome to a new venture for what is increasingly becoming a podcast network. We have Rainiac with the Doctor Who reviews, we have Kuchiri with the Kamen Rider reviews, and now here we are with Quantum Leap reviews, a dive into everyone's favorite American time travel show. And if there's another American time travel show that I'm not thinking of, well, you're wrong. This is the best one. Anyway, joining me for this venture, I have some guests. I have no introductions because, much like the events of Quantum Leap Genesis, I have no idea what I'm doing, where I am in time and space, but all I know is that I've got these holograms who only I can see and hear right here with me. Maybe you can hear them too if I patch in your mesons and neurons. We've got Michael Hoovian and Sean Dillon.
Hello. Hello. We tried to use the Doctor Who reviews set to talk in, but when someone tried to sit in the virtual right, it caught on fire. The chair caught on fire. So we don't know what that is.
Yes.
I think it's because it was set to go to the Red Room.
That also, yes.
We were part of a podcasting group that went a little caca.
And now we've ended up somewhere in time and space.
Oh,
Adrift in the waiting room. So, Quantum Leap, if you're uninitiated, and really you should probably be watching Quantum Leap if you're listening to a podcast on Quantum Leap reviews. It's a late 80s / early 90s time travel / anthology show that aired, starring Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell. And the premise of the show is, well, we'll discover the premise of the show, but time travel goofiness occurs, as we see in the introduction, in which we glimpse the distant, far-off 5 minutes into the future of the year 1995.
Ah, yes, the year I was born.
Yeah, they don't actually...
4 years before I was born. So.
Oh my god, I feel fucking old.
Yeah, that's the experience of being a comic strip. Everyone is younger than you.
Yeah, that's the expectation at this point. It's just, oh god.
Yeah, well, they don't actually say when this is, but it's very clearly 5 minutes into the future. You've got fancy cars, and you've got the greatest prediction in fashion accessory. The hot new thing for 1995 is LEDs.
Oh god. Okay. Can someone explain to me who thought it was a good idea to just LED earrings, high heels, windshields?
I mean, it was the 90s. Honestly, having weird fashion isn't even the weirdest thing about the 90s.
We're not even in the 90s. This is, what, 89?
This is 89, yes.
Right, this is the 80s. Weird fashion isn't even... This is even weird fashion.
No. I mean, it's 89. You know, most of the weird 80s fashion is pretty... I mean, that girl's hair is pretty 80s. But we get to meet one of our protagonists, at least. And then, as we say, a experiment goes a little caca.
Incidentally, this experiment is being held at Los Alamos.
Yes.
Yep,
where they set off the first atomic bomb.
Yep, the very site of the first atomic bomb.
Hello, Twin Peaks: The Return. How you doing?
Oh god.
We have a Twin Peaks podcast that I keep having to outline because it keeps going insane. I keep going mad.
Yeah, literally for some odd reason, what has happened is we have once again returned to this place. Doctor Who came to Nevada. Quantum Leap is based in Nevada, the project.
It's New Mexico.
And also Twin Peaks.
Well, New Mexico.
There's a Star Trek episode set in Nevada.
Probably.
Yeah, everything happens, and we get introduced to screaming man with large mustache going, "Ow! Ow!"
Control! Everything's fucked!
He's leaping! He's leaping! They told him no, but he's going in!
Yeah, we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, literally the opening 5 minutes is just...
What is
You're
this?
not supposed
what
to.
the fuck?
Yeah, you don't. You're not supposed to.
All we know is that Dean Stockwell is hitting on a girl, and there's some weird science shit happening in Nevada.
Yeah, weird sign. And then we are ceremoniously sent from that into the clouds, which were apparently following this man who has leaped into science machine as he's flying
he's smiling.
and he's spiraling.
No, smiling.
And he's smiling, like he can, like it can, like he's in a full force, just glee.
I'm doing it. They told me no, but I'm fucking doing it anyway. I love Scott Beck.
They said no one could teach a llama how to drive.
I love the vibe of this first episode. It's watching it now, having seen the entire show, is a trip. But watching it back then, back in the long ago of spring, spring, summer 2022, whenever the hell I started watching. But,
spring. It was spring 2022. Oh my god, that was 3 years ago.
Oh jeez. Now I really feel old.
So before we continue, everyone, this was a brainchild that began in 2020. Everything that has happened this decade, you can link back to the pandemic.
I don't know. I blame the pandemic for me watching Quantum Leap.
No, that's when I got DVDs of it and was like, oh, hey,
that's when you started. Okay. Then fair enough. I mean, I came here because I had franchise fatigue, and everything was going up its own ass with macrocosmic nonsense right around this time. So I was just like, I wanted to retreat. And also, I had watched Star Trek Enterprise a couple years prior, which also had promise, but jumped up its ass with macrocosmic TOS reverence. And also happened to star Scott Bakula, so I was like, hey, here's a little redemption. Something a little more small scale, and it's got that guy I know, Captain Archer.
Just gonna save this for right now, since we probably won't be getting to it for a while. The ending to Quantum Leap is perfect.
Correct.
Oh, absolutely.
Correct.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It truly is. It just it hits.
But
all the buttons.
Well, in about 96 podcasts, we can talk about that. But
yeah. So,
I just wanted to say,
speeding.
Actually, don't worry about Mike. We're professionals. We talk over each other all the time. But I just wanted to add before we get into it that this episode is very strange. I mean, it originally aired as like a TV movie, and I actually do have a file of the original broadcast airing, ripped off a VHS with commercials and all, and I will treasure that file for forever. So lovely. It's lovely listening. But this has this strange vibe to it, just this ethereal ethos that animates it in a different way than a standard Quantum Leap episode.
Yeah, see, we from the beginning, this was a TV movie. The one I watched it kept it as a full movie. I think Sean watched both parts.
Yeah, I watch as the 2 parts on the Roku channel. Inexplicably, no ads.
Yeah. Oh, that's lucky for you. I have the Blu-ray, which does maintain it as one unbroken 90-minute pilot episode.
And what kind of hits home is, especially once we get into the credits of the opening episode and we're flying through these clouds, is what the heck is going on?
The cinematography on this, zooming in on the house is golden.
Yeah, we're zooming into this house. We see the clock start to zoom back as it's ticking all the way back to 4:59 a.m. and then it clicks to 5, and our protagonist, whoever this is,
Sam,
wakes up and goes, "I did it! We did it!"
Did what? Who the hell am I?
Did what?
So there you go. Now we are in the same boat as the protagonist. We don't know what the fuck is going on, and we get to discover it together with them.
I also like the use of narration. I might be misremembering something. Some episodes have been a while since I've watched it, but I think the show doesn't use narration all that frequently.
Not
Yeah,
to this
usually.
degree.
Not to
Yeah.
this degree. And honestly, though, I like this first episode of him talking to himself.
Well, the reason we do that is, of course, in subsequent episodes, he has Dean Stockwell to talk to about what's going on.
Yeah,
Whereas here,
this first,
just last.
yeah, this first one, he's right from the beginning. He's like, "Who am I? Where am I? And why am I in bed with this woman who's clearly freaking pregnant?" I don't remember going to bed with this lady.
I mean, wow,
And then he finds out that he's not has his face, which like going to the various histories of anthology television fits within the mold of a Twilight Zone episode, wherein a man wakes up and realizes that no one knows who he is.
Oh, wow. Okay, we can't elide past this point. If you know me from Doctor Who reviews, you know this point is coming. Quantum Leap is a show where every episode has our protagonist look into a mirror and see a face that isn't his. It's peak television.
Yeah, every episode has a mirror alert.
Yep.
Right.
Some of those mirror alerts are better than others.
Oh yes,
it's true.
But really, I kind of even at this beginning part, he's pulled out of bed, he's thrown into the bathroom. He's like, you gotta keep going. And this woman's trying to clearly get his mind working, but this is a man who doesn't know anything about anything. He's just like, what? Am I dreaming? This must be dreaming.
And of course, the slow reveal that we are actually in the 1950s. So whatever this is time travel.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, this is not a dream.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nightmare."
And consider
I'm gonna see the boogeyman, and then I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna see the boogeyman.
Laughs in season 3.
That's in season 3. But
now, I just want to add this is a thing that was going around in the water at the time. Boomer nostalgia, basically. Hey, man, look, it's the 50s. Remember the 50s? Remember 30 years ago when it was the 50s? God, things were so simpler back then.
Yeah.
But a thing that Quantum Leap will do, it doesn't really do it here. Because it is more concerned with the disorientation and just being in another place and time. There is danger, of course, but it's just because, plain scary. But later Quantum Leap will not be so rose-tinted glasses about the past. And in fact, will confront the very incredibly evil parts of that past.
In ways that aren't always that great.
No, they're not. But, we've got lots of ground to cover on that as we progress on in this little journey. But for now, I mean, consider, even in this shorter season 1, consider the Kamikaze Kid.
Yeah.
Which is just like, ooh, no. Actually, things should be kind of shitty back
Color
then.
of Truth. Color of Truth.
Oh, yeah. How could I miss that one?
One whose title is, I guess, demonetized.
Yeah, we're going to call that episode a different name, but when we talk about it, you'll know which episode's going to be.
Yeah.
Incidentally, that episode and Lee Harvey Oswald will not be included in the first 10 episodes of this podcast.
Yeah, no. We're trying... Again, this is episode 1. We're trying to work our way up. We don't want to go episode 1, here we are, having a nice time, introducing you. Episode 2, bam, into a truck.
That said, if we get Evil Leaper, we are doing Evil Leaper.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, God.
Oh, Christ. So, we are, for some reason, into the family life of the Strattons. We have, our protagonist is apparently in the form of Tom Stratton, an Air Force pilot, and he has a wife and child, and the wife is, basically expecting, pretty much on the way, ready to pop, as it were.
Peg, Billy, and Tom Stratton.
Yes.
The quintessential Midwestern American 1950s family that's like in every picture book ever of like, this is the perfect family.
Well, except for the fact that, well, he works for the Air Force, and in fact, it's there's no combat drills going on. Instead, they're doing fun experiments.
Yeah. And immediately Sam is trying to go, I can't fly. He tells Tom's best friend, who's driving him to the Air Force, I have no memory of what happened. I can't fly. I shouldn't be doing this.
And they're just going, you're such a kidder.
I love that. I love that particular explanation. The fact that Tom Stratton is a practical joker, so every confused thing that Sam says, they're just like, "Oh, Tom, it's another one of your goofs. Oh, you japes."
It gives Sam like the opportunity to breathe in his first episode, because you have him leap into a practical joker of like, oh, I can't remember anything, but it actually gives him also time to go, yeah, who am I?
He doesn't even know his name.
Doesn't even know his name. He's just like, I'm not Tom. I don't know who I am. I'm not Tom Stratton. And
then there's this weird guy standing in the background that no one can see.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that yet. He seems. It's interesting how they play Dean Stockwell in this. Like, he's there in the past, but like you're not really. Sam is just sort of nodding to him as Dean is waving back, but there's no like, oh my god. They don't play the oh my god. What? Who are you talking about? There's nobody there. What, Tom? Are you great? They don't play that beat yet.
Yeah, they don't play it yet.
Instead, we get beats with Weird Ernie.
Yeah, we get shown up. We get shown up first with Al in the meeting room, where he's like, hey, he reminds me of when I was a cadet, and Sam nods, and it's just like he kind of fits in, but doesn't really fit in. You notice him, but he doesn't quite fit.
Now we know the premise of Quantum Leap, but consider watching for the first time. And I mean, even I going in knew Al's deal. I'm pretty sure it's a part of the thing. But consider watching unspoiled. You might assume that Al had time traveled back as well to rescue Sam or something. Like, you're still piecing it together.
At the same time, though, it feels like they give you a bit too many guide rails. Though, with that opening scene, I feel this is just me being the David Lynch Twin Peaks head, but I would have liked if we just jumped straight into a man wakes up and has no memory of who he is.
See, I'm torn. On the one hand, I love that glimpse of the future. On the other, man, that would be disorientating and fun.
Honestly, what you could have done is, instead of have it played at the beginning, when Al, as we are introduced to him, later on, after the first flight of the
X2,
what we find to be the experiment, the X2 aircraft goes awry, and they end up in the diner. When Al tries to talk to Sam, why not have the scene play there, where Al's talking to Sam, and Sam looks at him odd, and Al goes, "You really can't remember me, can you?"
No, they have it's weird because they have 90 minutes to fill, but also 20 of those are taken up by a completely different plot line. But they take their time with it. Like, what could have been, one or two scenes with Al and Sam expositing the premise of the series is spread out to like 4.
I kind of like that, honestly.
Listen, I'm a fan of Star Trek the Motion Picture. I like when things get slow as fuck.
Yeah, but I kind of like that because it really shows off Sam as a character in this first episode. He doesn't know a thing. He really doesn't. And when he's trying to fly the plane during the first test of the X2, he's literally just sitting there going like,
The plane just lists and it's like, oh, God.
like I don't know how to fucking fly.
Oh, Tom, you silly goose. Now write the plane, really. We should also talk about this character who is given an "and" credit in the opening credits. Weird Ernie.
That would be
Bruce
No,
McGill,
not
who
Bruce
if you watch old TV, you might remember from a little episode of the '80s cop show Miami Vice called out "Where the Buses Don't Run."
Yeah, Bruce McGill. Bruce McGill is one of those B television show actors who just has done everything, but it's so great to see him.
Yeah. He's neat in this, He's pretty no nonsense, He kind of knows that they're fucking with him, and he sort of lets it happen on a basis, but also at some point he's like, okay, kids, no more fucking around.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like.
I love later in the episode when the bird dog is singing the Yellow Rose of Texas, and he's just like, Captain, if you don't stop singing, you're gonna find a yellow rose stuck right up your afterburners.
It's like, thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain. That's 10-4.
No, he's a fun little side character along with the other guy, Burger.
Yeah, you really get the sense that Tom's life is, besides the X2, it's actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
A group of friends here in the desert, wife, son.
A good old-fashioned cowboy.
Yeehaw.
Where you find out about middle of the way through the story that his son recently got hit by a bus.
Poor kid.
Poor kid. And so you really start to feel Sam. You really start to feel like Sam start to bond with these people, but in a more innocent way, because he again doesn't have anything to go on. These are the people who was picked to be around him. So let's try and blend in.
Oh, that's what makes the Quantum Leap so damn good, is that Sam, as we eventually come to know him, is just the purest, goodest boy. He's like the human embodiment of a golden retriever. He's just that sweet and saccharine and an upstanding moral guy who strives to make the world a better place.
Right where one went wrong.
Which we get to here, but it's fun with the luxurious pace and the way that things are unusual for the pilot. The typical, oh, here's what you were set to make right. That whole thing. Not only does the idea of, oh, you're here to fix this, and then it might send you back. That doesn't come up until like after the halfway point, but
yeah,
it's not even the right thing that he has to do.
Yeah, It doesn't come up to the halfway point. 2, Sam originally rejects the idea outright. Goes, no, absolutely not. What next? Well, you could be ground zero to a nuclear explosion. Okay, maybe flying is not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, so this X-2 is an experimental airplane that the Air Force are trying to achieve flying at Mach 3. But they so far they've only been able to barely get up to like 2.8, 2.9 before the plane goes out of control and the pilots have to eject because the plane fucking explodes. So very dangerous, very nasty. Not a place that a guy is like, oh, how do I fly an airplane? Wants to be in.
Yeah, and as we quickly find out, our friend Tom has gotten the golden ticket to be the fastest man alive at Mach 3.
Oh boy. Yay, Sam. Yay.
And so the weekend before, on Saturday, I think, while Sam, once again, up until this point, Sam has been trying to use the telephone. He gets flashes of who he is as the episode goes on, and so he starts trying to call his dad. He wants to talk to his dad.
Oh, the scene where he wakes up in bed and he's just like, oh, it's time to milk the cows. What? Milk the cows? Oh my God, I live on a farm. And he remembers all this stuff. He remembers his family, and then he remembers, oh, my dad died in '74, but he's still alive.
And 56. So he tries to call. He remembers his hometown, but he doesn't remember his last
God,
name. He doesn't
the
remember the
anguish
phone number.
pain on Scott Bakula's face is like, please, God, let me remember. I need to talk to him. I miss him so much.
And
yeah.
he doesn't even. At that point, he doesn't even remember his name. Well, no, he just remembers his name because Al, conveniently, the night before, tells him, "You are Sam. You are Sam.
And what?
Sam what?
Can't tell you.
That's classified."
Yeah. So, with the Al scenes, again, like I said, they're really luxurious and spaced out. So you've got encountering him in the hangar before the first X2 flight. And you see him in the airplane. It's like, oh, how'd you get in the airplane? And then the bar scene is the big one where it's like, oh, hey, what? You can't see this guy? No. And you realize, oh, he didn't time travel. He's actually not even physically there. He's like a hologram.
Yeah, he's back in the future. He's back in the future, contacting Sam in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the next scene we get is
The fishing
Sam
trip.
at the lake. Here's the fishing trip where Sam is trying to teach little Billy how to fly fish, and Billy's like, "I know you're just trying to make me look good, Dad."
Sam Beckett can't fish. And this is where, indeed, extremely hungover Al, basically reveals half of the premise of the show. Our friend Sam was involved in a time travel experiment that went a little caca, and now he's stuck in the past. They can't pull him back, and they have to figure out what the hell they need to do. And in the next hologram scene, they figure the entire thing. Okay, Tom died in the X2, so if you don't die, maybe you're here to put something right but once we're wrong. They even use the whole God or time or fate thing.
Yeah, he literally said it, like Al says, the best example we have, the best scenario we have from Ziggy, a hybrid computer from our time in the future, which Sam confuses with a good man named Gushy, our friend with the mustache.
Little guy with bad breath.
With bad breath. But he confuses good old Sam, Sam. Al tells Sam, "Look, this is what Ziggy came up with, but to believe it, you're gonna have to believe that there's something called God or time. It was looking for someone like you to do what you did. You, do you want to say it, Sean?
You are being I'm blinking on the line.
You are being held in time to put right what
once went wrong. Yeah, right. God dang it! I flubbed the obvious line. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about something that's interesting. Given the show's premise in that Sam is currently got into the whole leaping thing because of an accident involving experimental time travel, it's interesting to note that the first thing that Sam has to fix among the things that are happening, he has to fix a situation involving a man dying because of an experimental space travel.
Oh, I didn't peg that. That's good.
Yeah, that's. I did not catch that. That's actually,
He's going
It's
back to
kinda-
fix someone who's a lot like him in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah.
I mean-
and after stop you, Sean.
Sorry, you were about to say something. I was just gonna say that we don't really know much about Sam as a person outside of what we see here. We can see that he is a generally good person, but is this nature or nurture?
Let's see, they really drip feed like Sam Beckett backstory. It's not until like at least season 3 when you get the full basic picture of who this guy is and what his basic and what his lore was per se.
Yeah, you get bits and pieces of who Sam is, but but what we know of Sam here is that he was a farmer, as we learn, a farmer grew up on a farm, and he over time you learn more and more about. Later on in the story, we learn he has some medical training,
Mm-hmm.
and so he goes to Al and goes, you know, I'm just a medical doctor. After Al's like, this is your project. Al's like, this is your project. Sam's like, I'm just a medical doctor. Like,
No,
that's all I know.
You got 6
No.
doctorates, buddy. You're the next Einstein.
And that really, really introduces us to just how much information and knowledge is in Sam's head that is locked behind or scattered in this Swiss cheese brain.
Yes.
So, after Sam is told of what he must do, the next part is for him to actually do it.
Which
Dear boy.
this is interesting. That well, to make a long story short, we'll talk about the attention to the scene, but he don't do it. He didn't do it. This was the leap parameter. He failed. He did not make Mach 3 because, well, the project is and again, this is interesting going back to the way you mirrored Project Quantum Leap with the X2 project. It's that the project is fundamentally flawed from the start. The plane can't go to Mach 3 because the fuel will boil before it reaches Mach 3. The time travel machine can't properly time travel you. It sends you back in time and strands you and fucks up your memory and sticks you there because God wants you to sort out other people's problems.
Yeah. Tom, I will say this. Tom got farther than ever before.
Like
Didn't get Mach 3, but 2.99. I think is what it was. So he got up, so he almost hit it. It just, when he heard when he's in the plane and he's up to Mach 2 and he sees these beautiful sights and the firelight comes on, it's like, what's that noise? That's the fuel, Sam. It's bubbling, boiling.
I love
I suppose it could be worse. Apparently going to Mach 10 turns you into a salamander.
God fucking damn. Oh Christ! Going back to Star Trek. No, I like the.
Warp 10. That's not Mach 10. That's Warp 10.
Yeah, we'll let him have the joke, but I like the use of stock footage here for the plane stuff, and the effect. They have some effects of like a blue screen plane that looks a little hokey, but not Kamen Rider hokey. It works fine.
Don't turn past Mach 2. Don't turn past Mach 2. And you just see this plane. You just see this plane like just awkwardly flying around a blue screen effect.
And he survives! Yay!
I can see their parachutes. He's okay, but his wife is not so okay.
Yep. Apparently, when good old
Sam.
When good old Sam took off, it sent his poor wife Peg into labor.
Like 9 weeks early, and it's not looking good, but this is where we get some putting right what once went wrong, and as you said, he gets to use his medical knowledge, and he gets to remember this and say, hey, use these drugs. Oh, wait, they're not invented yet. I know. Get her drunk.
Which is at once hilarious and also raises the question, did Sam invent this?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see, that I don't buy, because when we get later into the, they call them the kisses with history, they make it plainly goddamn obvious.
Yeah, they make it plainly obvious. But with this first scene, it's more like the doctors kind of get what he's getting at, but they're like, because, like, one doctor's like, that could work. But then the other doctor's like, you need to stop playing, this is serious, and he's like, no, I'm being serious here. You need to get her drunk.
And well, long story short, it works, and she's gonna be okay. And this is a right that Sam put. This is a wrong that Sam put right, because in the original timeline, Tom would have crashed in that plane, and then his wife would have gone into premature labor, and the baby would not have made it through.
But now Tom is alive, and they have a baby, and they'll have a baby girl named Sam.
Aw.
Samantha, which I love how Al goes like, maybe there's some energy left over from,
Yeah.
which when we get to later episodes.
Oh yeah, I know what you're putting down, but hey, wow, we've got a great, just a tight 70-minute script. What do you mean this is a 90-minute episode? Oh fuck,
Yeah,
that's a baseball.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, it did not need to be 2 hours.
Yeah, Sam got Sam did it. Sam completed this mission, and he leaps. I understand why they put it in, so they can show the premise of the series, but it just feels kind of rushed. This last part.
It does give us one absolute banger, heartbreaking fucking moment, though.
Yeah.
Though I do like the baseball bit. It might just be my childhood love of minor league baseball. Yeah, I go see minor league games as a kid.
Oh, I do. I also like the baseball bit. The baseball bit, it actually does. It actually does kind of. This is where we get Sam, not the not the who am I random traveler. We get introduced to Sam. It's after the first leap when he makes it here and goes, "This is me. This is who I am."
And we even get his name, thanks to Al finally letting loose. This is
Sam Beckett.
Sam Beckett.
Sam Beckett.
And he gets to call his dad. And God, fuck.
Oh God, I'm gonna start.
It's
Sean, do you want to start with this or?
No.
Fuck it. I mean, it's just what do you say? It's just so emotionally powerful and fucking resonant. Just a guy gets to talk to his dead dad again.
Yeah.
He gets one more chance.
Yeah. Though. Yeah. Actually, what it did bring to mind is a later project that Scott Bakula would be a part of. The movie Source Code. It's has a similar premise to Quantum Leap in the basis terms, in that a soldier finds himself being put into a situation where a train is going to be attacked by a terrorist. So he has to repeat this entire train so that way the day could be saved. And the film, he's put into the body of someone else, and the day is saved when, after the day is saved, he calls his dad.
Oh.
And his dad is played by Scott Bakula.
Oh wow! Passing the torch. That's very interesting. That premise actually is one that basically the rebooted Quantum Leap series, which I don't know if we'll talk about that. We got like 90 odd episodes of the old show to talk about before we worry about throwing in the new one. But they did a time loop episode where after every loop, a bomb goes off, for lack of a better term, and the leaper finds himself in a different body, and it's kind of like a Rashomon thing where it's like, well, you got to figure out the truth with all these different perspectives.
Yeah.
It's an interesting episode, one of the better episodes of the reboot. But oh yeah, a baseball happens, and again, there's this interesting thing of he doesn't like outright succeed, but he still manages to make a better future anyway. Where he
doesn't get the home run, but he does get to steal home base.
Yeah.
This isn't I think what's funny is both Tom and Tom Stratton and Tim Fox introduce us to this show, that this show isn't about it's supposed to be about big events. Sam going into Watergate and being like, Oh,
Laughs in season 5.
last in season 5.
Though
But
though in defense, I'm pretty sure that was him being extremely paid to Oliver Stone.
No, that is true. That is the basis for that episode. But and a whole bunch of other things. Also, it's interesting you mentioned Watergate because that kiss with history happens in the very next episode, Mike.
yeah, very next episode. I know, but he's not the. I know, but he's not the. He doesn't leap into the guard that discovers Watergate.
He doesn't leap
He
into.
just takes it. He doesn't leap.
He doesn't leap into G. Gordon Liddy.
He doesn't.
Or to use another example, he doesn't. He leaps into the body of a taxi driver and not baby Donald Trump.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
But what's kind of interesting is that this show is about small stories.
This is
Small
exactly.
America, microcosmic, a baseball game that went wrong, that he took one base, that he took one run and won the game for them, or
And it's not even a major league game. It's a minor league game full of people who are either washed out, up and coming, or going to retire. Or it's not the World Series. It's not even the biggest game in the minor league. It's just the last game of several people.
I love that smaller scale.
It's the you just want one more win. It's just one more win to get everyone's morale up to go. That was good.
Yeah.
And get a smile on people's faces and get people happy. And with Tom to have Tom's family stay together. That really hits, especially when you have like other science fiction shows like Kamen Rider or Doctor Who is like the grand scale of the universe, or
Star
like
Trek.
Earth, or Star Trek, where it's like the grand scale of the universe. This is just
Intimate.
tiny stories, intimate, tiny stories,
And it's beautiful for that. And it is exactly the bromide I needed in 2022, and it's arguably one that we still need today when franchise fatigue is stronger more than ever. Like, if you're looking for something to just take your mind off the big, the grandiose, and just, just these nice little, well, they're mostly nice. There are some real nasty things at work later in the series. Because
running for
Again,
honor.
we're not going to be covering those for the first 10 of these.
yes, we're gonna be nice, but know also that
running for running for honor. How are you doing?
yeah. Anything
and-
about any episode about racism?
Oh, hi, that episode we're not going to be talking about in name.
No, but Quantum Leap does, the big things it confronts are, small and evil things, the term I coined for this on my blog when I was talking about the show, the dark heart of America,
Yeah, though I think you use that more for a different show from the 80s.
I did, but it applies to Quantum Leap because Quantum Leap is so tied, it's innately tied into American history. The fact that the rules of Quantum Leap are that you can only leap within your own lifetime is basically so that they can go, okay, we don't want to do no time traveling back into ancient Rome or into the Middle Ages. Just I want to focus on American nostalgia and whatever's going on there.
I think there's a cowboy episode, but I might be misremembering.
There is a cowboy episode, but it's not set in the Old West. It's set in like the 50s with 70-year-old cowboys. It's pulp. It kind of.
Yeah, it's pulp. Basically, I think one of the missteps in the new Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the new Quantum Leap didn't follow that rule, and I'm kind of sad that it didn't, because it was fun doing all this. It was fun, breaking the beyond your own lifetime rule, but Quantum Leap is about you have this small section of time. Like that, like it is 50s to eventually the 80s of this small subset, this snapshot of time. these 30 years of finding people whose lives went wrong, that now it's time to put them right.
I will say,
and then you have the episodes where the whole world is at stake if you don't save the day.
yeah, New Quantum Leap kind of does add in that macrocosmic. I mean, for God's sakes, it has B plotting and story arcs. You know, it does go
Yeah,
big, but I will argue
Yeah.
for the New Quantum Leap in general, and also, they only really do going way, way back into the past twice. They do an Old West episode, and they do a Salem Witch Trials episode. That's the only times they really step out of traditional 1950s to 1990s America.
Then
don't-
again, Quantum Leap proper also does weird stuff. We'll be talking about Stephen King at some point.
Steven, welcome to Quantum Leap, where in this reality, the Bermuda Triangle is real. Vampires, Bigfoot, ghosts.
Ghosts.
Was it sliders?
All of these things are real. Oh god. So
Oh, also angels. Angels are real.
angels
And angels.
and angels and
And of course, God.
and of course
And
God.
God.
So should we give
And
our
the devil.
yes? Should we give our final thoughts on Quantum Leap Genesis then?
I generally liked it, though 2 hours is a bit much.
Mike?
Yeah, it is a good introduction into Quantum Leap. It shows what's going to happen from week to week with the small leap into the baseball, and it really does show what the show is about. These small, intricate stories and something went wrong, and now it's time for Sam to come in and put what's right.
Yeah, I really like this. It feels different from the normal show, as it were, that would go on, but in a good way. It is a little long, but it does luxuriate. Now, that might not be for everyone's taste, but I enjoy the luxuriating a little bit. But, it's a great introduction to a wonderful little show, and it does its job well. So,
Now, excuse me while I now start praying for our invention to not land on something.
yes,
crazy.
okay, so normally on these podcasts, well, here's the thing. We spin off from the Doctor Who reviews and the Kamen Rider reviews, and if you've not seen those, Doctor Who reviews, we basically just have one of the hosts picks a random episode, because you can basically just jump anywhere in time you want with Doctor Who and get where you're going to. So we've been jumping all over the 60-year history of that show. Kamen Rider reviews, when we do a show, we do it sequentially, because that's a more narrative-focused show. Quantum Leap is kind of like Doctor Who in that it's an anthology. You can jump in anywhere, but we didn't just want to go either go in sequentially or have us pick a random episode. So, the element we have chosen, and it will be appearing on your screens momentarily if I've done this right. Welcome to Fate's Wide Wheel, which is also the copyrighted name of another Quantum Leap podcast. But you kids can't see it now, but I'm putting it in my little OBS thing. We have a wheel of 95 Quantum Leap episodes, and we're going to
It's every episode except for Mirror Image.
the
The
finale.
only rule we had is Genesis first, Mirror Image last.
Okay.
Yep, that was the
And
only
anything
rule
that's-
we had.
And anything that's too particularly heavy for the first 10 or so, we're not going to
10
do.
episodes.
We're gonna re-roll, and
Ugh.
it if it's Oswald or Katie
That
McBain,
one.
yeah, or one of the really really bad ones about racism, but we'll see.
I wouldn't mind Gloria, honestly. I wouldn't
Gloria?
mind
Well,
Gloria.
Gloria, we could. Okay. Well, I'm going to hit the.
My ass.
Okay, I'm going to hit.
Again. I'll laugh my ass off if we get Evil Leaper.
All right,
Oh,
I'm
no.
Okay, kids, I'm going to hit the button now. The wheel's going to spin, and something will happen.
Oh no.
She's spinning, kids. She's spinning. She's spinning. We're slowing. We're slowing. We're ooh, close. Okay. What an interesting one. Next time on Quantum Leap Reviews, Rebel Without a Clue.
Oh, okay, we get a good one.
This is perfectly fine for a thing. I was worried it was going to land on the boogeyman.
Episode 2, we get to go invite Rainiac. We get to go kidnap Rainiac and bring him into the show.
Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna do this. If it's just gonna be us three, or if we're gonna rotate out guests and get our friends in on this quantum leap action. Time will tell on that. But until then, I'm going to get this thingy off the screen. Boop. Yeah, we don't need this. And all right. So, Mike, you want to ask me a little question that maybe gets asked on Doctor Who reviews at the end of every show?
So Fresno, where can you find us?
Where can we find us, lovely people? Well, I do believe we're all on Bluesky under various names, at Freezing Inferno, at DeathChrist2000, at Michael Hoovian, maybe?
Michael Hoovian, yes. Thank you,
yes. Mike, you've got a little blog.
I got a blog. Yep, I've been trying to follow a thing of where I've been writing little snippets of my thoughts on certain things I finish, and also doing like little like rhyming stuff just to get me going more and more, so I can eventually write a book, a full-on book.
Ooh, nice.
It is at Michael Hoovian Thoughts at blogspot.com.
Will be linked down below. And yeah, anything else from you, Mike?
No, not really. I just really hope one of these days soon I will be back on Doctor Who reviews, so then we can continually bother Rainiac to come on the show.
Mike, you know the episodes that we have to drag you in on. They're not fun. Do you want to be dragged in on that torture?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe one of the Fifth Doctor ones wouldn't be so bad. Sean, how's about you? Got anything to plug?
Well, I just did an explanation for why The Straight Story is the single greatest Star Trek movie, and the answer was, check your DMs, Fresno. Check your DMs.
You can't just spoil the end of the... You can't just spoil the fun bit like that. Then again, I don't know if the kids have watched all that yet. I don't know if they've watched through all this one yet. So if you haven't... Go
watch the Straight Story podcast first, then come back.
Yeah, a little late on that. But also, if they haven't watched the Straight Story podcast yet, I don't ever want to hear any nonsense about, Fresno doesn't listen to the podcast again. When it's been 3 goddamn weeks, you fuckers haven't listened to it. Anyway, Sean, do you have anything else to plug?
Yeah, I'm currently working on some behind-the-scenes stuff for various books and writing I'm doing, and I'm also going to be on here tormenting Fresno about The Wizard of Oz.
And The Wizard of Oz, yes. The Wizard of Oz. It is my version of Simple Gear.
You two are in this together! As for me...
the first episode of the Twin Peaks podcast is on The Wizard of Oz.
I'm going to die. Help me, everyone.
Welcome to the new show, aka how long will Fresno Sanity last?
Not that long. Yeah. Not that long. As for me, you can find me on fresnosravingrants.blogspot.com. I hopefully will have something. I've been kind of dragging my feet on it. I got some things in the head, in the works, and but until they come out, you can head over to twitch.tv/freezinginferno every Monday night at 7 p.m. EST to see Monday Night Fresno. I recently finished the game Snatcher, Hideo Kojima's cyberpunk adventure, and we may have another game in that similar vein and genre coming up soon.
Yes, The Wizard of Oz on the SNES.
No, God! Fuck!
Surely there must be a Sierra game based off of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, now you're playing with fucking fire, John.
I looked. I sadly looked. There was no...
Rainiac, I instantly understand what you had to deal with for the past decade. Being a podcast host is just sitting there in your comfy chair while all your bestest friends around you mutate into fucking gremlins.
Yes, Fresno.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to cut this off right here. So this has been Quantum Leap Reviews. We hope you have enjoyed. Please go watch Quantum Leap. It's available on various streaming websites, I do believe. Sean got it on Roku TV. I know Pluto TV has a 24/7 Quantum Leap channel that goes through the episodes sequentially, which you can catch up on, which is really nice if you're just like, oh, I'm bored. What's on? Oh, Quantum Leap.
It's Quantum Leap's on like Comet, which is a TV, which is on cable, or you could buy like the DVDs. I think the box sets are cheap.
I mean,
Blu-rays aren't, but the DVDs are.
I paid for that Blu-ray. I wanted that 1080p experience, but yes.
Yeah.
And it looks nice on my shelf. But yeah, there are many ways you can get Quantum Leap, and if all else fails, you have the internet. You know what to do. So until then, everybody, we shall say good night, happy leaping. Thank you very much for watching Quantum Leap Reviews, and I'll just say one more thing. We miss you, Matt.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Bye, everybody.